Ciao, sono Stefano. Iniziamo tra 2 minuti. Hi, Stefano here. We're starting in 2 minutes. Se hai domande, scrivi nella chat. If you have any questions, type them in the chat and you'll get an answer. Ciao, sono le 9 e iniziamo. Hi, it's 9 a.m. here and we're starting. My name is Stefano. I'm your Italian language coach. Today's topic is how to learn Italian fast, but also just any other language. If you have any questions, type them in right away. Don't wait until the end. Feel free to ask just anything about the Italian language, or learning languages in general, or my courses. Um, if you ask, it's better because it's relevant to you, but I do have something that I want to share with you. A few tips to learn faster Italian or just any other language. If you have visited my website, you might have noticed that I stress out the importance of speaking in learning languages. That's how we all learned our native language. We were not taught in class. Yeah, maybe we were later on, but when we were children, we were not taught formally. We acquired our language from the surroundings, people around us, typically our parents. We learn by mimicking, listening, and repeating what you hear. For this to work, you also need to understand what you're listening to. Linguists call this comprehensive input. It means that you understand what you're hearing. But if you passively listen, you barely retain anything. You need to put in practice what you just heard. And that's what I'm trying to do with my courses. I even called my course Ripeti con me, repeat after me, because you're supposed to repeat everything that you hear in Italian. It sounds too simple to be true, but if you ask any polyglot, any expert, they will agree that the most important and often overlooked aspect in language teaching and learning is speaking. Typically, people learn grammar, they study grammar rules, and they do translation, but they barely speak with anyone. There are certainly time constraints in class if you're in a group, but the reality is that if you want to improve, and if you're learning Italian, I guess it's to communicate with people, traveling, your your partner, someone important, you want to talk to them, and that you should be speaking. And you should do it regularly. It's like doing sports. You should do it on a daily basis. That's why I keep my lessons relatively short. One lesson of Ripeti con me is between 20, 30 minutes long. That's enough to fit your busy schedule. Also because it's an audio material, you don't need to look at it. So you can take it while doing other things. Me personally, I take audio lessons like mine while eating, while commuting, while cleaning, cooking. Yeah. And one thing that I'm often asked is, I can't keep up with the audio. Should I pause and go back? And no, don't do it. If you pause the audio, you break the flow. The flow is the status of your brain. You could call it focus, and you should keep it to tune your brain to speaking the language you're learning. If you stop to look up words, to listen again, especially if you do it quietly, that works against you, well, against the purpose of the course for sure. Don't be afraid. Don't feel embarrassed if you're missing words, phrases, even entire sentences. Even mumbling helps. Eventually, you'll catch up. You're not supposed to keep up with everything you hear. You should try to shadow. Shadowing means speaking along with the speaker, but it's not a problem if you can keep up. If you don't understand everything, that's what happens in reality in language immersion, which is the most effective way to master a language, to acquire it instead of studying it. Language immersion, everything around you is in the language you're trying to learn, and everyone around you only speaks that language. That scares off many people, especially beginners, but that's the most effective way to learn. I try to replicate that condition with my courses. So you'll be only speaking Italian. You do hear the English translation because you need to understand what the speaker is saying. But if you're learning alone, you can't speak with anyone. Then this is the closest it gets to language immersion because you're sticking with Italian, no matter how how difficult it might feel at first. If you keep doing this, in a matter of days, you should feel that you speak faster, more naturally, And by speaking faster, it's not only the speech rate, how many words you can say, but the time that it takes to come up with the words. You don't need to translate inside your mind. You come up with the words directly. That's a good sign. And that won't happen if you only study grammar, read quietly, or write. They're also useful activities, but they don't achieve the goal that is becoming fluent. Fluency, unless you're studying a dead language, could be Latin. I guess your purpose is to communicate. Good. This was my best tip for you. If you have any questions, type them in now because it's breakfast time and I'm hungry. Or else I see you next month or on thinkingitalian.com on the forum. Leave comments and you get answers within 24 hours. Good. Grazie. A presto. See you soon. Bye.